All right, welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix this bad boy together. As you get in here, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and let me make sure that your audio and your video is working. It looks like it's on my end, but we've got to talk about something that is really chapping my butt. I'll be quite candid with you. So as you guys get in here, make sure you jump over here, leave some chats, let me know the audio, video, and we will go through this. But what I'm going to show you right now, I can't guarantee you're going to be super happy. Actually, I can guarantee you're not going to be happy. I can't guarantee you're not going to get a little bit upset. All right, so as you guys filter in, looks like audio and video is good. I need you guys to send this one out to everyone that you know, all gun groups, tag it on X. I need this to go everywhere because what just happened today in the Senate really doesn't sit well with me. So, if you guys are just now getting in here, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and follow me on X at Braden LOA. We are grinding and making an incredible impact over there, and without you guys doing that, it wouldn't be possible. So please, at Braden LOA on X. All right. So guys, earlier today, actually, let's back up a little bit as you guys filter in here. Make sure you like it, share it, send it. We were talking about the parliamentarian. All the parliamentarian. It was this, that, and the other. How we can't get past the parliamentarian. How it's up to her, the bird rule. You know, we really got to respect the parliamentarian. You know, it's really important that we really maintain that sanctity of the parliamentarian, right? That was a big thing that we were told on the gun side of the argument. You know, those suppressors and those short-barreled rifles, it turns out it's not bird compliant. So because it's not bird compliant, it's obviously, you know, not a tax. We're going to say it's okay to rewrite it and say it's a tax stamp being reduced, right? It's not a tax, but it's still a tax, right? It's like kind of if then, if that, whatever, half dozen, six ways one, half dozen to another. And then we were told the most important part. You can't override the parliamentarian. You can't fire the parliamentarian. The Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, said, no, we would never do that. That's insane. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and show you something that's going to make blood shoot out of your eyes. Again, please follow me at Braden LOA on X because I'm so sick of these people, the Republicans. We are going to not do the same old get the right person in there. We're going to change the culture underneath their feet and not have any ground for them to stand on because this is going to happen. Make sure you follow me. I'll keep you updated very soon because we are launching something. All right, here's the thing. Dan Krenshaw, you guys are familiar with his work. He's kind of rhino himself. Good news. After the rogue parliamentarian struck my amendment to ban taxpayer funding for transgender treatments, Republican senators put it back in the bill anyway. Well, wait a minute. I thought that was impossible. I thought it was extremely outside the norm. We can't ignore an unelected bureaucrat. That would be unconscionable. They just did it. Dan Crenshaw's little bill about transgender treatments just went in. What? But we can't get ours in. Yeah, we're going to change the culture to the point where rhinos just don't exist anymore. And what I mean politically, of course. But let me continue. This means they are daring the Democrats to vote against it in a point of order. Why didn't they dare the Democrats to vote against suppressors and short-barrel rifle removal from the NFA? They're not daring them to do it with the removal of the tax? Seems a little contradictory. Or a little bit of maybe one for you guys, one not for you guys. I'm feeling kind of a little bit not of the love here, Dan. Let's continue. It's a good bet to take. For one thing, nothing to lose, so why not try? That's interesting. Because let's just say that we have a scenario where we are in the same boat, but we actually have something to lose. In the case of suppressor tax removal or zeroing out or file or whatever the number is, right? Whatever it is. So the language that currently sits in there is zeroing out the tax. Okay. So maybe in some arguments, that's something that we have to lose. We don't want to push too hard to make them do a point of order and override the parliamentarian because we don't want to lose this suppressor removal of tax. That's written in there now. Keep in mind, Lindsey Graham and John Cornyn were involved in this, so we got some rhino footprints everywhere. But let's just continue. Let's just put a pin in that for a second. Let me show you all the other things we got going on here. But second, I believe the Democrats won't want to pick this battle. This is a very, very popular provision. I think the Democrats know they've lost the battle. The science isn't on their side, and neither is the public. So you're basically doing a political ploy to put the gun controllers on notice. But you're not going to do it, or excuse me, the Democrats on notice, but you're not going to do it with gun control? Okay, so let's just do a hypothetical real quick. And again, I got a lot of tabs to get through. I don't know how long this live is going to be, but we've got to get through it. So make sure you like, subscribe, and you share. So let's just go down the road of maybe there's not a consensus in the senators' minds to really put this at the forefront. Okay, well, we're going to change the culture and we're going to make you irrelevant. Because this is our rights. This is not something that's a political pawn for you to get more power. This is our rights that you are hiding behind a tax in one sentence, and in the other breath, it's not a tax. This right here is why we're launching all the stuff we're launching. That's why we're pushing so hard on X. That's why we're pushing so hard on YouTube, because this crap is going to end. Anyway, let's continue. Let's keep on going. Now, NAGR says, but we were told there was nothing they could do about the parliamentarians stripping pro-gun language. That's a very good point. It echoes my original feelings, and I'm sure in the chat over here you guys feel the exact same way. This right here looks very bad on us. Why is the transgender thing going in, but the gun rights thing? One is a funding thing. One is a tax that impacts our rights. But this one goes in because senators overrule a parliamentarian, but they can't do it on the gun rights because it's against the norms. Do you see the obvious hypocrisy here? Yeah. I'm not doing the same old game of, oh, well, we're going to get a better Republican in there in primary. No, we're going to change the culture so this is impossible. It's going to be a long fight. It's going to be a hard fight, but I'm going to freaking do it because this crap is insulting. Anyway, let's continue. This is interesting right here. Representative Andrew Clyde. Now, he posted a lot during this whole event, and it's still ongoing, so it's still got a long way to go. So keep in mind, I'll keep you updated on this because there's a chance it might fail. Anyway, here's Representative Andrew Clyde. I certainly understand the frustration surrounding the 2A provisions. Do you? Because Dan Krenshaw, okay. I've been fighting for months to secure the elimination of both NFA taxation and registration for suppressors, SBRs, SBSs, and AOWs. I successfully added this measure for suppressors in the House-passed budget reconciliation bill, and I've worked with Senate Republicans to not only keep this provision, but also to expand it and cover short-barreled firearms. That is all accurately true. All of it was written into the Senate's first version, but the unelected Senate parliamentarian struck it down, erroneously claiming it violated the Byrd Rule. There was nothing erroneous about it. It was an intentional design, making up reasons and saying it wasn't even supposed to be in the Finance Committee when it's a freaking tax. And then the next answer is, well, we're going to put it in as a tax reduction. It's not a tax overall, but we're going to reduce the tax. I mean, like, this is the reason that no one wants to even get involved in this. I'm never not voting. And I'm never going to say we're not going to vote and change the system from within, but we're going to change the culture underneath these people's feet. All right, let's keep going. I vehemently disagree with her. Good, so do we. Dan Crenshaw. In fact, many of her rulings prove she's a partisan hack and capable of making nonpartisan decisions. To be clear, I believe the Senate parliamentarian deserves to be fired immediately. Yeah, but again, all these issues are still getting put forward to the Senate. Let's just say it has no chance in hell of going. Okay, then why aren't our provisions in there as well if there's no chance in going? Put these people on record the same way that you want to do it with this one. The only difference is the transgender thing is something they believe they have a much bigger bully pulpit on that they can get more votes in the midterms. It's the only reason they would do this. Anyway, let's continue. Of course, I also want the NFA registration eliminated, as it is inseparably linked to the tax. No kidding. That's why I fought tirelessly for months, and I'm going to just put a stop on this. Guys, you fought tirelessly for months. You guys called all your senators. You guys called all your House reps. You guys were involved in spreading this on X, watching on my videos, everyone else's videos. You were involved in spreading the news on this. You were involved and worked for months. These people worked for us. You guys did it because you believe in something bigger than yourselves. I respect Andrew Clyde, and I love the work that he did, but this really does not land right now very well. Anyway, let's continue. The latest version eliminates all of the NFA taxation on suppressors and short-barreled firearms. Of course, I also want the NFA registration eliminated, as it is inseparably linked to the tax. That's why I fought tirelessly for months. Yet we can't pass up an opportunity to end the 91-year-old unconstitutional taxation under the draconian NFA. This rewrite is another shot at the provision. It's not perfect, but it's far better than getting 0-2A victories. Now, there is a legitimate validity to that statement. Is it better to walk in with nothing and leave with something versus leave with what you intended? Yeah, it is better to have something than nothing, and I completely agree with that. And that's a good stance to take. Win a battle now and continue on for the war. But when you're talking about watching transgender issues completely ignore the parliamentarian after we've been told numerous times to sit down, shut up, this is the best that we can get, and we can't ignore the parliamentarian because, after all, it's a sacred entity and body, it rings a little hollow. But anyway, maybe I'm off. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and the chat over here, because I think I'm over the target, but I don't know. You guys can tell me. I strongly believe eliminating the tax provides a highly credible basis to challenge the NFA registration in court, because with the taxation repeal, there is no longer a foundation for the registration. The registration database is the method used by the government to account for the tax paid. I've told you guys this too. This is not something that's special. This is very, very base level understanding of the system. Okay. We are not giving up. Oh no, we have just begun to fight and win. Let's use this rare opportunity to eliminate the tax and restore another part of our Second Amendment rights. All right. Again, I'm only 3 tabs in. So if you guys are just now getting in here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because we are going to change the map because of actions like this. Originally, we're going to do it against Democrats, and now we're going to throw Republicans in there too. There's lots coming. So make sure you do that and follow me at Braden LOA on X. There is validity, as I said, to coming out of this and going, hey, you know what? We got suppressors removed, or the taxes removed from suppressors and short barrels. Yeah. Is it a wet blanket? Is it kissing your sister? Is it a tie? Yeah, it is. But when you look at what's happening right now on the Dan Krenshaw thing, it's very hard to say, oh, we left everything on the field when we're looking at what we have here. And you guys know me. I am 100% positive on the going forward for our rights and passing on to the next generation better than we found it. But this is very hard to swallow right now. All right, let's continue. Let's hear from Dan Krenshaw about why he's big mad, as his own words, right here from his website. And I'm just going to interrupt as we go. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
I've been put on the big mad list because of this. I'll explain here shortly. So the Senate parliamentarian goes rogue on one big beautiful bill. The Senate parliamentarian just ruled that several key provisions in the one big beautiful bill violate reconciliation rules and must be removed. Now I'm big mad because that includes my amendment to block Medicaid funds from being used for transgender surgeries. Didn't stop there though. The parliamentarian also removed a provision to prevent unauthorized migrants from accessing Medicaid or CHIP. Again, a common sense thing that absolutely has a budgetary effect and should not have been removed. She also removed reforms that we had to Medicaid provider tax schemes, among other things. The problem here, and what we're seeing, and why I've called for her to be fired, is consistency and application of the Senate rules. When it was
Okay, does that sound like anything that we've been through? Medicaid, Medicare, transgender issues, all of these things are budgetary. Guess what also is a budgetary? NFA. So it's okay to say she's gone rogue. It's okay to say she's gone crazy. She's going to get fired. She needs to be removed. But when it comes to his provision, it's going to get thrown in there. And I can almost hear some people saying, oh, Braden has no chance. That's not the point. The point is, you just proved that you can do it, but you won't do it for us. That is a very large problem. It's a problem of perception. Because again, all of you grinded for months. I know, because we were doing videos consistently all the time. We were walking you through all the steps, and all the comments were all positive. We united like we've never united before. And at this moment, all of that work that you guys did, you don't get a second chance, but this guy does. That is hard for me. But let's continue.
Democrats' turn to pass a bill through reconciliation, the parliamentarian lets some pretty interesting things slide. But when it's Republicans' turn, the parliamentarian seems to change her rules or her standards. A couple of things I might note. McDonough let Democrats do. She allowed a $50 million grant program for environmental justice, whatever that means. It's a new program. It's a new policy. But denied my prohibition on Medicaid funds for transgender surgeries because it didn't have a direct enough budget impact. Of course, that's not true. It had a $2.5 billion budget impact, according to the CBO. She let Democrats pass dozens of Green New Deal grant programs.
Okay, you guys get the idea. parliamentarian bad. That's why my provision should be allowed in anyway. But ours isn't. If you were a senator and you cared about a perception of supporters of specifically your side of the aisle, about 99% support, and you were trying to get more gun owners involved, doesn't it make sense that you would leave nothing off the field and try your very damnedest to show that you care about this, even if you were going to lose? Okay, let's just keep going on this, because this is a perception issue. National Association for Gun Rights, a left-wing parliamentarian appointed by Harry Reid, is blocking the biggest pro-gun bill in decades. Her ruling isn't law, it's a partisan stunt. Again, I would like to go back to Dan Crenshaw. Good news, the rogue parliamentarian struck it and Republicans put it in anyway. It's not harder than that. It's a perception issue. Let's keep on going. Again, I want this so bad for you guys, and for all of us, for us and the next generation, and for this to be the outcome and the kind of the mealy mouth response. It's a little not great. Senator John Cornyn, soon to be primaried and removed by Ken Paxton. Republicans restore bill language eliminating a $200 fee for silencer and short-barreled rifles. Yeah, they did. Meanwhile, there's Senate votes and making the Democrats go on record for the transgender stuff. Again, I'm not going to say we're not going to take the suppressor fees and reductions in short barrels, but it's very hard not to feel like a redheaded stepchild in this action. That's why we're just going to change the culture right under their feet. But anyway, let's keep on going. Senate Republican, this is the Hill language. A few things here that honestly I don't really need to say. We've already basically gone through the entire thing. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that part doesn't matter. This one right here, this is my good buddy. Right here, this is Brandon Herrera. Agreed. We cannot allow this to fold without a fight. I could care less about the $200. It was always about deregulation. Yeah, it is always about the deregulation. And sure, is there a 12, 18, 24-month plan on that? Probably. It is about deregulation. The point is, our rights were taken from us from a taxing scheme, and then we were told it's not a tax, but then to placate us, we were going to reduce the tax. This is straightforward. All right, let me go right over to this one, and I'll do a few more things here. All right, so this is Gun Owners of America a few moments ago. This is at 6:37 p.m., so this is an hour ago. PSA to Republicans. Gun owners are watching closely. If you fire or overrule the parliamentarian to gut the NFA, you will win massive support in the midterms. If you fail to protect our rights, gun owners will remember in the primary or just stay home. I genuinely think that is an accurate assessment. What do you guys think? If they leave everything on the field and you can pin the loss directly on Democrats, that's one thing. If you won't put the final play in the field because you're placating, in my opinion, that's not a good look. Again, in my opinion. I saw some super chats I'm going to get to in 1 second. But the other part to this is, this is a different gun world. This is a different 2A support. This is a different Republican focal point in this. We will change the culture under your feet, and you will no longer be politically viable. The population will no longer accept the kind of rhino behaviors that we are seeing, and we will remove. But you can get the transgenders cracked over the parliamentarian, but you can't do it for the 2A rights. One's an actual right. One is crazy town. Okay, let me go over here again. If you guys are not familiar with what's happening, make sure you follow me at Braden LOA. We are at 20,300 followers, and we would love to have you push us as far as we can because we've got some culture to change, and we're going to grind on it. And you guys know me, and I grind really freaking hard when I say I'm going to grind on something. But here's the bottom line. Dan Crenshaw gets his precious transgender thing back in the parliament. Good for him. It's going to fail. Great. You're going to put them in a position where you got Democrats on record on something that they think that they're going to be able to viably use in the midterms. The only problem is anyone that you would gain in the midterms from the transgender vote that you think you're going to get here, you're going to lose on the gun rights side. Flat out. It's going to be that outcome. in your mathematical equation, you are not going to gain more than you will lose if you continue to do this kind of crap. The Senate can all of a sudden magically overrule this and put this forward, but doesn't say a word about us. In fact, we can't even bring up the conversation because it's so unconscionable to get information, or excuse me, to get the bill at least on the floor, to get shut down by Democrats. We don't even get that option. We get a complete and total rewrite, and then the tax, which we're told was not a tax, is now a reduced tax. All right, I see you. We're going to change the culture together. We are going to make it so politically completely not viable for these people, and we're going to do it deadly effective. And I hope you guys are down for that race with me. Make sure you follow me at Braden LOA on X. Follow me, or like, subscribe, and share this information on this channel. And I will see you guys on the next one. I almost forgot I got to do the super chats. I am remiss. What kind of host am I? Sorry, man. Yoink! Pulled the ripcord on that one. All right. Aaron Flynn, 199, thank you so much for the sticker, for the super chat sticker. Get down here, I saw a couple more. Completely forgot. Medicare and Medicaid aren't right. 2A is. Yes. Sorry for the very loud clap. I didn't mean it to be that loud. You get a heart. That is absolutely correct. Okay, let's go over here to this next one. I thought I saw one more in here. It may not have been. No, it was just two. But honestly, guys, we got some work to do, and I cannot wait to show you what we're going to launch probably on Monday to do just that. They will rue the day they do this kind of crap to us because we're not accepting it anymore. All right, listen, I thank each and every one of you for walking through this fight with me. I thank each and every one of you for grinding as hard as you've grinded? Doesn't matter. You worked hard, and I thank each and every one of you because I saw it, and I know what you guys did. And I want you to know I do not overlook that. All right, listen, I'm going to get out of here. I got some more work to do because you know I'm going to continue grinding on this one.